Little Bear's Dragon. Old Bear was reading a story to Little Bear. It was an exciting story about a dragon who lived in a secret cave. "Are there any real dragons?" asked Little Bear as he hid under his blanket. "I haven't seen one," said Old Bear, "but we could make you a dragon mask if you like. Then you could pretend to be a real dragon. And I could live in a cave," squeaked Little Bear, "and make scary dragon noises." "That would surprise the other toys," laughed Old Bear. Old Bear found a little box and cut it in half. "This will be your dragon head," he told Little Bear. "Look, its mouth opens and shuts." "Will it breathe fire?" asked Little Bear. "I don't think I can manage that," laughed Old Bear. Little Bear had found an old tablecloth. He draped it over a chair. "I've made a cave," he cried. "It's all dark inside. A dragon could easily hide in there." Old Bear had nearly finished the dragon head. He painted it green with fiery orange eyes. "It needs some sharp teeth to look really scary," said Little Bear. "I'll make it some." On a piece of paper, he drew a long row of pointed teeth, up and down, up and down. Then he cut them out. Old Bear stuck them in the dragon's mouth and added a piece of ribbon to make a long forked tongue. "Now it looks scary," gasped Little Bear, taking a step back. Old Bear lifted the dragon mask and slipped it over Little Bear's head. "Grrr!" said Little Bear as loud as he could. "You look like a very fierce dragon now," said Old Bear. "I'll just go and find you a tail." Little Bear hurried to his cave to practice his roars. First, he did little roars like a baby dragon. Then he tried louder ones to sound more fierce, and finally really big ones. Grrr! The roaring made him feel quite tired, so he decided to see if there was room for a small dragon to lie down in his cave. In no time at all, Little Bear had settled down in a corner and fallen fast asleep. He was still sleeping when Jolly, Tall, and Rabbit arrived. "Can you hear a sort of breathing noise?" asked Rabbit, gazing around the room. "It's coming from in here," said Jolly, peering into the tablecloth cave. Rabbit looked into, then jumped in surprise. "Help!" he cried. "It's a dragon! Quick, run!" Jolly galloped towards the door and bumped into Sailor. "Run!" shouted Jolly. "There's a dragon in there!" "Is it breathing fire?" asked Sailor nervously. "Not right now," said Rabbit, "but I'm sure it might do at any moment." "I'll get some water to put its fire out," said Sailor, "just in case." "Good idea. Dragons are probably frightened of water," said Rabbit. "What else are they frightened of?" asked Jolly. "Only other dragons, probably," said Rabbit. "Bigger ones." "Perhaps we could pretend to be a bigger dragon," suggested Jolly. Then the small dragon would see the big one and it would stay in its cave. "And not breathe fire on us," cried Rabbit. Jolly and Rabbit hurried away to make a dragon costume. Sailor returned to bravely guard the cave. He was still sitting there when Old Bear called to him. "Have you seen Little Bear?" he asked. "Or is he still in the cave?" Before Sailor could reply, there was a huge roar, and into the room marched a big green dragon with a long yellow neck. Sailor nearly threw his buckets of water over it, but then he saw its feet and realized just in time that it was only Jolly and Rabbit in their dragon costume. "Quick!" he called. "Old Bear says Little Bear is in the cave. The dragon must have captured him." "Well, save him!" cried Jolly. Before Old Bear could explain, Sailor joined the others in the dragon suit, and the 8-legged monster rushed towards the cave. roaring and stomping its feet. "What's all the noise?" cried the little bear dragon as it staggered sleepily out of the tablecloth cave. He saw the fierce big dragon. "Help!" cried the little dragon as it dashed back inside the cave. "It worked!" shouted Rabbit. "The little dragon was scared of us and we frightened it away." "But we're too late," sniffed Jolly. "It must have eaten Little Bear. It was wearing his trousers." Old Bear hurried over. "Don't worry," he laughed. "I think I might have a surprise for you." He stood by the entrance to the cave and called, "Come out, little dragon!" And out it came very slowly. Old Bear carefully lifted off the little dragon's cardboard head. And there was Little Bear looking a bit nervous, but all in one piece. The others cheered. Old Bear picked up Little Bear and carried him over to the big dragon. "Don't worry," he said. "This isn't a real dragon either. Jolly, Rabbit, and Sailor are in there." "Are they?" gasped Little Bear. "Did they think I was a real dragon too?" "They did," laughed Old Bear, "and they were trying to frighten you away." Now, after all that excitement, I think it's bedtime for old dragons. "Then will you read us another story?" asked Little Bear. "About something not quite so scary this time."
Hi! If you like this video, please give this a like and hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon to get notified whenever I release a new video.